So usually the Yankees vote.
Early in the morning, it's about 8 in the morning, for a cartoon.
CHAM AM Hamilton, division of Bell Media. Your second favorite iHeart radio station. Funny 820.
One of the most downloaded podcasts in the country is now on the radio.
This is the legendary Humble and Fred Show, Canada's national morning show.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
The following episode of Humble and Fred Radio is brought to you by FYI Music News, The Retirement Sherpa, Gig Sky, The Chambers Plan, Straight and Print, Freedom Construction, Ringside MD, Clear Air Solutions, and our newest sponsor, CDN Technologies. If you'd like to talk to Humble and Fred, call 1-833-437-8465. That's 1-833-HF-STINK. And now from the Humble and Fred Queensway National Broadcast Center, here are Humble and Fred.
Welcome back from the weekend, everybody.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome back.
And it was a good one.
Yeah. What a beautiful last weekend of the summer. Yesterday I was on a golf course with Rachel.
Oh, were you?
Went hit some golf balls. She likes to do that. Sunday morning we drove over to Oakville there. You know where Oakville is? It's just over here.
You actually played holes?
No.
Wasn't just a driving range?
Okay, his microphone
Might have to
is...
unplug it and plug it back in.
Just jiggle it around.
Someone must have pulled it.
Here, just unplug that. And then just plug it back in. Let's see.
Oh, it sounds so unprofessional. So unprofessional.
You know, I think the ship has sailed on being professional.
Yeah. So you actually played some holes? No. Oh, okay.
No, we have played, like, some holes.
Mm-hmm.
Like golf holes. This summer we did that. The point I'm trying to make is it was, as you said to me off the air, it was 27, 28, around 10 in the morning on the way back. It was 30 Celsius in my car, indicated, which means it feels like 35 outside.
Well, my beautifuls were in the pool again yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
No heater on. Splashing around like what was yesterday, September 22nd, still in the pool, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them enjoy that. And as I said, I'm driving across the 407, coming back from the Tin Palace where I was on assignment with this weekend.
Assignment.
And it was, at one point it was 92. I put the thing on Fahrenheit. It was 92 degrees.
Ooh.
And they didn't call for that, did they?
Yeah.
No, I know they called for feels like,
mm-hmm.
but actual temperature was 92. So that must have felt like 115.
I don't know. I don't know what the feels like forecast
Here,
was.
feel this.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So and you're worried, and you're worried the microphone makes us sound unprofessional.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, Roz and Mocha aren't going feel this. You know, they're still in their prime.
Yes.
Not us.
Not us.
Not us.
Anyway, it was great. It's a bonus because we've said it on the show for years and years. For every day like that is one less day of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, it's a little premature for that, though.
Is it?
Well, usually when we start to do that bit, it's not until November.
Okay.
When it could potentially. By the way, if you're living in Alberta, sorry for your loss, because apparently it's going to be snowing by the week's end.
Is it really?
Yeah, man. I was on the Weather Network site this morning, you know, in the doom and gloom column there. They're saying it could be a 20-degree switch in temperatures in Alberta this week.
Yeah.
No wonder they hate us.
Is that still premature for Clippers, or what do they call them?
Chinooks.
Chinooks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
technically over 4 days we're going to have a
Top
24
story.
degree swing.
Where?
Yeah, here, because it was like in the 30s on the weekend, and I think Wednesday night's going to be 6. So it's that's
Top
about-
story here on the Weather Network.
My begonias.
It says expect extended periods of severe winter weather, comma,
No.
Ontario, winter sneak peek here. What?
Come on. Well, yeah, way up there. Not here.
No, not where we live.
We're blowing the weather bag here, and
Well, yeah, because we
you know
got,
what I mean. Yeah, we don't want to give too much
Yeah.
detail away because we're starting a new feature this morning.
Are we? Where's?
Are we?
Can I have a copy of this?
Okay, one day at a time.
It's right here.
What are you looking for?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Bill Brioux coming in. He's going to be talking about the Emmys, which, to be honest with you, I didn't even know they were on. Are they on the real TV?
Yes.
Okay.
And they didn't have a host this year. They tried to do it without an actual host.
Well, they can't find anyone that's not touched somebody inappropriately or put on blackface.
That's right. That's right. They're afraid to name someone because of what'll come up in the past.
That's right. They can,
Yeah.
they can't hire anyone. The last guy they tried to hire, Kevin Hart, for the Oscars, they found out he said something on Twitter once.
And they really wanted a black guy, and Justin Trudeau wasn't available.
He wore diapers.
Way down upon the shore.
Hey.
We'll get to Justin Trudeau. How is that? I was saying to Freddie that the Liberals must have, all weekend long, the Liberal people were just freaking the F out, man. Still know what to do.
Yeah,
I know they're going. Yeah, this is. Hey, it was supposed to be them. It's supposed to be the Conservatives. It's supposed to be the other guys that do this, not us. What do we do? Oh, they quickly changed the definition of racism. Quickly,
yeah.
I noticed within hours. You know, there was this, and it's not really, and you gotta understand, and it was 20 years
He was
ago.
playing someone, not being someone.
It
You
was
know what?
something
I
else.
would love to have, and I mean this, I would love for somebody to sit me down and convince me how those aren't acts, well, at the very least, inappropriate.
Right.
How he, as a younger man, only 20 years ago, didn't know that that was inappropriate.
As the son of a prime minister.
We'll get to all of that, but this is a regular. So you've convinced our boy Dan Duran, weather specialist Dan
Well, we'll
Duran,
see.
to drop in daily.
Yeah, well, do we not talk about the weather every day?
Yeah, don't get angry. I'm just asking.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, no, you
I'm not
sound-
getting
you
angry.
gotta
I
be
sounded angry.
relentless.
Oh, I'm not.
Talk about the weather.
I'm not angry at all. I'll show you angry.
Oh, I know you will. I'll show
you think that's angry?
I'll show you, Alice. So yeah, he's gonna pop in daily.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, we'll
listen.
we'll
man,
give
I
it,
love it.
for a while. You know,
I
we'll see
love
how
it.
it goes. You know, it's up to Dan. He's got to entertain, right?
No, he does.
Yeah,
Entertains me.
yeah. So the thing is, this is an entertainment-based show with, you know, comedy, sort of, wouldn't you say? Comedy-based entertainment show.
Oh, I like that.
So
Yeah.
Dan's
That's what we
got to
are.
deliver, and in his own Dan Duran way.
Well, so 7:15. That's only 7 minutes from now. We're going to hook Dan Duran up. You're going to be able to hear him. You guys on Switch. Is it Switch? Twitch.
Twitch.
You guys on Switch.
So you're smacking each other with something.
Yeah, you
Switch.
guys on Twitch won't be able to see him. We're going to figure that out too. But today, Dan Duran, not sure he's not a meteorologist. I guess he is a weather specialist.
Yes.
Yes, when he was at Chex TV in Peterborough, where he is no longer, that's how we got to scoop in and grab him.
Yeah.
You know, it's not too. It's like, you know, it's like the NHL waiver wire, right? Every so often, a gem is available,
That's
and
right.
you swoop in and grab to improve your team.
You know, what we get here is we picked up a veteran who's still got some legs,
Yeah,
got some speed, and can contribute, especially in the locker.
That's
You know, he's great in the room.
oh no, I know. Although he's a little humiliating in the locker room. You know.
Are we going to start with
No,
that?
I'm just
Are we gonna
saying.
start? Is it always that? With can't we ever have Dan on the show?
You brought up the locker room.
I just brought up as an analogy, a metaphor
Okay.
for sports.
And I thought it was a classy way that I handled that. I said he could be a little humiliating for others in a locker room.
Yeah,
That's
but then
all.
we have to explain to people why.
Oh, I think they figure it out.
Not everyone.
Oh.
A lot of people listening don't know the history of Dan Duran on the show, and or, Dan Duran's sidekick.
You can't be interviewed in the locker room.
Anyway, he's he's going to come on and give us area weather.
Well, it's going to be great because Dan's going to do the weather, and he's a super liberal. I mean, I'm a liberal, but not. I mean, I'm a liberal, but I don't cotton to the whole blackface thing.
Sure.
I can't. I'm gonna ask him. I say, listen, how do you justify that, Dan? How's that?
Yeah. You think you're a liberal?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So are you.
No. I don't. No. No, that's a tough one. I don't think I'm. I think I'm an anything. You know. I really. That's
no,
what
you're
I think.
Conservative.
You just called me a liberal.
When?
You just said I think you are too. Did he not?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I just said it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I did.
You can be liberal in many ways.
No, you're a conservative liberal. Like, no, let me put it this way. You're liberal, but not politically.
Maybe a blue liberal.
Okay.
Classical liberal.
Okay. No, let me explain what I'm trying to say to you two idiots. No, you're liberal, but not doesn't. I don't mean in the way of a political party. You're a liberal person. You're
Okay.
you hold liberal values in terms of people and tolerance and those type of things. Like, that's what I mean when I say you're liberal. You're not a conservative. You're not a guy that's like, oh, I'm not letting my daughter marry that man. You know what I mean? Like, you're not that guy.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily conservative either. That's right wing or.
Well, it's a more conservative type of person.
I get it.
You're not a conservative type of person.
All right.
I mean, you have conservative values. And
Fiscally conservative.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
as am I. As am I.
No, I get it. Yep.
But I may have probably voted more liberal, although I have voted conservative as well. I don't know if I probably voted NDP when I lived in Saskatchewan, because everyone did. I've made this point before. Saskatchewan's the first province to ever elect a liberal government. I mean, an NDP government.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Tommy Douglas
Well,
brought
yeah.
electricity to Saskatchewan.
So-
He did.
But it's hard to defend that, and I'm just curious how people do it, how they find a way around. Because as we've said already today, if that were a Conservative Party member, the place would explode.
Well, what we saw unfold over the weekend and over the past few days since the blackface is it wasn't a racial issue. It became a political issue because even those who lean left or on the liberal side, deep down they know it's wrong and racist, but they tried to justify it. And why? For political reasons. They want to save their guy. So what you do is you forego principle in the name of politics, and that's just where we're at nowadays. That's what matters.
But you can
the
understand
most.
that. I mean, we're a month away from an election,
right?
and if that's your guy, you have to find a way to justify it.
But where's that line? You know what I mean? That's what disturbs me. Where is that line? What would he have had to have done? And given the the reaction on social media and in the media in general, you can't help but think if that was Andrew Scheer, a conservative, who had done that, the reaction would have been a lot different, a lot bigger, a lot more severe, I believe. So again, it gets back to politics.
Yeah.
Well, as I've made a million-time point now, outrage is what fuels. Outrage is the current currency, and what really fuels outrage is something like this. Because then the reason it would be worse if it was the Conservatives, because then all the liberal people would have a chance to have an avalanche of outrage, because it wouldn't just be this one incident from Andrew Scheer's past, it would be everything Conservatives stand for. Which is kind of what's happened to this. It's like the Conservatives, I think, are playing it smartly. They're not piling on. They're showing concern, as you would.
No, because I think as part of their strategy is if we talk too much, it might make people even gravitate more to Trudeau if we pile on.
That's
so
true.
I'm sure they've had some high level strategy meetings over this.
They don't want to threaten the identity of the voters. They just want to persuade them otherwise.
Because if nothing else, the Liberals have done a superb job of making conservatism, even in Canada, look evil.
Yeah.
If you're a conservative, you're a bad person.
Very true.
And you're against gays and you're intolerant and on and on and on. They've done a brilliant job. And there's a lot of conservative people out there. Hey, if I vote conservative, do I feel that way? No. And I'll tell you, I could very well vote conservative this election.
But I feel
But
sorry.
does that mean I'm an evil person?
I feel sorry the most about
it
folks.
does. Pardon me, sir?
So I just feel sorry the most about folks who actually might be offended by this because we're all busy, complaining about what's more offensive instead of doing something about it. Either party. What are we doing about racism, folks?
I don't
Hang on
know.
a second. Dan Duran, are you there?
Hello.
Dan? Hold on. Dan Duran. It's not picking up the thing.
Did you ring?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, of course I did. You know.
Oh, Dan, let's not.
So it's coming through.
Oh, no, it's working. It's just not. He's just not picking up.
Maybe he's in the bathroom.
You were here when we went over the instructions. I said it'll be around 7:50, and it could be earlier.
Here it is.
You guys were here for that, right?
Yeah.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Yeah, I know.
Please leave a message after the beep.
Oh, well. It was a good idea.
Yeah, it was a great idea.
It was a great idea.
Regular feature with Dan Duran. You know, why not give Dan Duran some airtime? I apologize. I wasn't really concentrating on all those things you were saying about conservatives, but I started it by saying that they're playing it correctly, and I see that you agree with me. By they weren't piling on.
Right.
Oh, look, there's Dan Duran now. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
I'm just curious what happened a second ago when I was calling you.
I don't know. I think my internet kind of crapped out here.
Oh, my goodness. What are the chances? Well, they're chances. Humble and Fred chance, yes.
What do I do here so we're not getting this feedback, Phil?
Are we... Is it our fault?
I don't know. Dan, can you just check in, everyone? Dan Duran, checking in. Go ahead. Speak.
All right. I'd like to speak on weather this morning.
Okay, there you
You
go.
like to speak on weather.
On the weather.
On the
all
weather.
right, welcome. Fred says this. I didn't realize this was going to be a regular feature, but I'm all for it. You know me.
That sounds promising. Yeah,
No,
this is a one-off.
I'm all for it until I tried to call you twice and went, well, that was a great idea. So you don't have reliable internet where you are?
Well, usually I do. It just maybe my son's downloading the biggest game in the world or something like that right at the moment.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
what he's doing.
So we should... Dan, were you designated a weather specialist when you were at Czech's Peterborough?
That's exactly what I was at Czechs in Peterborough with the global station here.
So when you become a weather specialist, did you have to take a course or something, or do they just designate you weather specialist?
They just sort of deemed me weather specialist because I was specializing in the weather. Or there's also analyst that kicks around out there as well. So I analyzed
mind
it and specialized.
I like Dan Duran, weather analyst as well, if you like that. I don't know.
All right.
Because, we could say you were a meteorologist, but there's... I don't want to get
No, you can't because that would be a lie.
I don't want to get you into trouble with, the weather union or whatever.
The weatherists out there.
Now, at
Because there is a meteorologist, and then they also call meteorologists on television the meteorologist when they've had a television meteorology thing, which is specialized in television meteorology.
One thing I will say about Dan, a lot of the television outlets, they let their weatherman, let his hair down a bit, step outside of the box and be a little creative and funny and have some fun. I mean, you were not really afforded that in Peterborough, were you?
I wasn't encouraged to be too outlandish with like wearing chicken costumes and the like, or whatever the season was.
Which would have been great. But you should know on this show you could do anything you want.
Yeah. In fact, if you want to do this entire report in blackface, Dan, you go ahead.
Oh, yeah. That'll be the first thing I do.
So at what moment, before we do the weather, at what moment did you decide not to vote Liberal? Was it the first blackface picture or the third one?
Yeah. It's got to be around the third one. I don't know what's...
That's a tough one for you Liberals, huh?
It is. As a Liberal, it's difficult to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, what do you do, though? I mean, by the way, I'm being serious. I said to Fred, it's a tough spot the Liberals are in because how do you defend that and still stay true to your values, which is fine if that's what you want to do.
Well, you have to look around for other possibilities. Is what I'm thinking. Or it's the hold your nose and vote kind of thing.
Or the animated conversation we had over dinner Saturday night. I bring up Trudeau and the blackface, and you immediately want to take it to climate change.
Yeah. Well, I think that's number one in everybody's mind. Well, not yours, but a lot of people's minds.
Yeah. Well, no, it all depends. I mean, it's a big thing, but that one issue is one issue, and then... But again, that's politics, right? You derail. You don't like what you're hearing, you just take it somewhere else. And you did a fabulous job of that Saturday night on your second bottle of wine.
I love those compliments you send my way, Fred. They're loaded.
Yeah, Fred is
loaded.
He's a he doesn't give those compliments easily, Dan. Take them when you get them. All right. Well, I haven't really prepared any music. Let's try this. Let's see if this. It's time for Dan Duran. Dan Duran here. Dan Duran.
Dan, the weatherman.
Dan.
The weatherman.
Yeah.
Can you hear that music at all?
I can't hear the music. I can hear you guys singing, and I think we need to workshop this a little bit more.
I like that.
I do too.
I thought that really captured the moment.
Dan, 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 Duran, Dan, Dan, Duran. So Fred and I, all right, so here it's our new feature, weather specialist, TV meteorologist, Dan Duran, everybody. And today
Thank you.
we're all, just give us the goods with the weather.
The goods with the weather. I'll focus on Torontoish because there's a lot of people listening to your show the world over. But maybe we should just focus on Toronto a little bit because it's been some hot weather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you realize it or not, but
Very hot.
We set a record in Toronto yesterday.
Really?
It was the record was in 1959, 30.6 degrees, and we hit 31.3 degrees.
Isn't that something? As I said, it was 92 Fahrenheit. I flipped my thing over to Fahrenheit. I just wanted to see what it said. 90s.
Why weren't you not? Does 31 not impress you?
No, but I'm thinking mine actually said 32 or 32.5 or something. So I thought, what is that in Fahrenheit? And while I was driving, I reached over and changed it.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that.
I know, distracted.
Dan, I was coming back from Oakville, and it was indicated 30 in my car, so it must have been feels like 35. So we set a record. But what about the week coming up? Is it still? Because I looked on the Weather Network site this morning. They say that out west they're going to be starting to get into some snow, but that's their problem.
Yeah, they sort of like divide the nation up with a colder area, cooler area, and we've got this hot. There's actually a cold front coming through, which is all this kind of rain that we're having right now, and around noon in the Niagara region, there's probably going to be a bunch of rain. In Toronto, there might be another millimeter or so coming through, but after that, it looks like moderated with the day today. It's going to be feeling like in the 30s again around noon or so.
That's not bad.
And then later on in the day, as we get into the overnight into tomorrow, then it gets back to sort of normal for a day or so, and then it'll pump up again.
What's normal, Dan?
Normal this time of year is 19 degrees in Toronto.
Okay.
So
I'm looking at Wednesday. Daniel, on Wednesday when I'm playing golf, it says 26 feels like 29.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I want to see if are you available, Freddie, to golf on Thursday, or are you going up north?
I'm having some dental surgery on Thursday in the morning.
Are you really?
We'll have to do another day.
Interesting. Because I wanted to take Rudra out with us.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
What's going on?
We'll discuss.
You have some surgery?
I told you I have that old guy gap where food keeps getting caught in a molar and it drives me crazy. So he's going to fix it.
Okay, yes.
Okay, it's not bad. It's not like I have pyorrhea or anything.
Pyorrhea. Let him go.
Free diarrhea at a dental office.
Yeah, they treat. Fred's got mouth diarrhea.
Anyway, Dan, is there any chance of it raining dogs and cats this week?
A little bit on in Wednesday. There might be 10 to 15 millimeters of rain somewhere in there.
Really?
It's a little far out to say at this point, but yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I think that was a very good first appearance.
No, thank you. Well, you don't have to make it a regular thing if you don't want to, because it doesn't sound like you really want
that's
to.
not true. I love this. I just didn't realize. Don't make it sound like it's me. I love you, Dan. I would love to have you on the show every day. I would love if you were living upstairs and wandered down with your coffee and your puppet.
Dan.
Yeah.
You don't realize what a break this was for us. that you, a weather specialist, is let go by a television network, and we can just scoop up and use you. That's like it's...
And I'm happy to do it. I always just sad I couldn't hang out with you guys because my show was always on when your show was on.
That's right. And those days are over. Now you can hang with us, and we will. Listen, I'm all for it. Let's try it again tomorrow at 7:15. Dan Duran, the weatherman. Everybody.
All right.
Dan Duran.
Thank you.
Dan Duran. Here comes your music.
Awesome.
Weather Mr. Dress-Up.
All right, we'll take a quick break here, everyone. Dan, hang on a second. I'm going to talk to you during the break just to see what kind of terms we need to... what kind of money. Because, listen, I've known him better than you. Money's coming.
He's already looked after. I gave him a palma pasta lasagna yesterday.
Oh, perfect.
He's looked after for this month.
Perfect. We're all paid up. I love how you take care of things. Humble and Fred Radio live in Hamilton and in Southern Ontario on Funny 820 and around the world at humbleandfredradio.com. We'll be right back.
For the month, those are expensive lasagna.
There we go. Hold on, I just had to do that. Dan, that was great. Hold on, let me turn this fucking music on. Let me add that to my thing. Yeah, that was good, Danny. Yeah.
Was he not using his microphone now?
No, he wasn't. So can you see if you can get your microphone working? That'd be great. That's the only thing.
Be able to do it, but the unit that I had is fucked, so I have to do a workaround. It's not very difficult to do, but I'll figure it out.
Okay, man. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow, 7:15, if you're around.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, Bubba. Take care.
Yeah.
Bubba.
Okay. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And the most uploaded podcast in Canadian history.
Sean, can I grab a coffee this time? An actual coffee.
Very reasonable cost. If you'd like to be part of a leading-edge program with access to a very engaged audience that not only listens but also responds, send us a note. Humble and Fred Radio at humbleandfredradio.com. Humble and Fred Radio at humbleandfredradio.com. For my next trick, I need an assistant. Oh, pick me. All right, get up here and repeat after me. Right now, you can leave. I can leave. A 2019 Accord.
So Steven's paying us $300 to use the studio with Sean for a couple of things. He's paying him. No, he's paying him separately.
Oh, is he?
He's paying him $200.
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently I forgot to tell you, I did my good deed for the weekend. I responded to one of those Facebook group tell and sell pages. It's just like local page in Georgetown. Someone was looking for help removing a wasp nest. So I went out my way, did my good deed.
It's called helping what?
Like tell and sell. That's what there's a Facebook group like it's
I've never
those
heard
tell
of
and
that.
sell.
I've never heard of that in my life.
That's where I share a lot
Oh,
of
there's so
stuff.
much of that shit nowadays. Howie.
It's called Tell and Sell?
Yeah, so you'll see there's probably an Etobicoke one. There's a Mississauga
And
tell
you go and
sell.
do good deeds for people?
Brampton tell and sell. No, it's people selling stuff or saying there's events and stuff. And yeah, I just responded to someone. They thought they had bees. I taught them otherwise and just said, screw it, I'll come help you anyway.
Wow.
But
well, you're a very nice boy.
yeah, that's what I was doing all weekend, removing wasp nests from a person I'd never met before. Hey Sean, can you also get me a real coffee?
Meech. Who said that? Meech? Oh, Meech. Does he not realize half the time
The day you're
we're
here.
not fucking paying attention?
The day you're here.
Yeah, the day you're here, Meech, you fucking baby.
I will get
This
you.
fucking guy on Twitch. I think I know who it is.
First day, it's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ziprecruiter.ca/CANADA. ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. And Indeed will also give you this magic moose, which will confidently lick the face of the perfect hire. Okay, there's no magic.
Ooh, we got some bits.
Sure. Independent research
He's donating bits. Thank you for the bits.
Thanks, Phil.
Oh, no problem.
Next job at
Okay.
skills tests for free.
Maybe if I come go to Bangkok on the
Studio manager at humbleandfredradio.com. We are
Save
always
the
looking for new
100.
sponsors. But did you know you can also rent the studio? The Internet Studio is available for audio recording and production, podcasts, and other tailored solutions to help bring a professional touch to your message. With years of experience and a wealth of knowledge in new media, the production team at Humble and Fred are here to serve you. Email us at humbleandfred@humbleandfredradio.com or visit our website, humbleandfredradio.com.
This should be the last one. Oh, here we go.
This is Humble and Fred, only on Funny 820.
Hey. Uh-oh. I wasn't sure where I was.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet
Bill
to
Brioux, who was a very fine television commentator, reporter, critic. He'll be in talking about the Emmys. Honestly, the first I heard of it, first I even bothered to care.
It's the way it is nowadays, Howard.
Yeah.
Just, you wind back the clock a quarter century, say. Emmys would have been a big night.
Yeah.
Everybody would have been a buzz. And now, although I notice our friends at Schitt's Creek, I think they were shut out.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Seems the people at the Emmys don't give a shits about that show.
I can't really see. We're on the radio, remember?
They don't give a shits about that show.
Yeah, but
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I know the bit. But is there just no end to your renegade behavior? I get it. You're using the name of the title of the...
Oh, don't wreck the joke. I think I can say that.
Yeah? Well, I guess you'd know. You were in management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what a way, yeah.
You know so much more.
I won't be getting any awards for that, believe me.
But you're right. If you think about where we were at one time in media, not just in our silly careers, things like the Emmys and those awards, the Oscars and the Grammys and those things, that would have been a big deal. But did you send me the list? You sent me the Grammy list?
It should be on there's a link to it, but it's a very long article.
All right. Well, I'll just link. I'll link it.
Yeah.
It would have been a destination, certainly for us, to report on it the next morning, to talk about it, to joke about it. But I'm being honest. I watched some golf yesterday afternoon. Then I watched a Netflix documentary series on this Bill Gates character, Inside Bill's Brain. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Saw that. Saw some other stuff. I never even thought of turning on the regular television. Did you watch any of it?
No, I watched some Cleveland Browns, Los Angeles Rams for a while.
The NFL, they had the Sunday night game in Cleveland for the first time in 10 years last night.
Interesting game. Like to see Cleveland do well after all those miserable years.
Would be nice.
Don't they have who's got the hotshot quarterback now? Is it Cleveland?
No, Kansas City, Mahomes.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few in the league, but he's the man right now. He's good.
So yeah, the Emmys. We'll talk about it with Bill. Just a lot of interesting stuff going on. Some of your favorite shows. See how they did. I thought of you Friday night as oftentimes I think, oh, Fred will love this, because Rachel and I went to Downton Abbey, the movie.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Loved it.
Good.
Especially because we were sitting. It was packed, man. Went to a 7 o'clock show on a Friday night. Just packed. And I got these seats where my seat was in the aisle and Rachel was on not the aisle, I'm sorry, the center of the stairs. You know that? It's a great seat if you get it, where it's the very last row and I have all this leg room. So I was sitting on my left was Rachel. On my right were three women. Had to be mid-70s. Three ladies.
The Golden Girls.
Great girls. Yeah. And we got along. We were joking when I first sat down, we were joking about who gets to use this. Because, you never know if you're allowed to put your drink in this side or that side. Right. So we had a little joke. Anyway, when I'm not giving anything away. You know, Mr. Carson or whatever his name is.
Yes.
Is Carson.
Yes.
Carson.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was in Toronto last week.
Oh.
So in the story, the king and queen are coming to visit Downton Abbey. If you know the series, you'll know what I'm talking about. And Mr. Carson, who is retired, is wooed out of retirement to come help the house.
Mm-hmm.
See, the moment that Carson starts walking down the road back to the Downton Abbey, like everyone starts to cheering. You know, me and the girls are high-fiving. It was great. Me and Rachel laughed our heads off. The ladies were losing their shits creek, you know?
Oh, yeah. Hey, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Program director. Down your crack, eh?
If I had never seen the series, could you go to that movie and understand? Would it make sense? Or do you have to have seen?
I think it's a great question.
Yeah.
I think you would be able to understand because the plot's so simple.
Oh, okay.
The king and queen are coming to stay at Downton Abbey.
Okay.
So yeah, everyone's in uproar, and the plot of the movie is kind of cute how they do it. But if you know the series, you'll love it because it basically ties all the storylines. All of them get tied up, and it's just great seeing it on the big screen. Oh, the other time that everyone started cheering too is when the music swells the Downton Abbey theme,
yes.
and then you see. It's beautifully shot. You see a full screen shot of the structure, the building, and the words Downton Abbey over it. And again, the girls next to me, the 75-year-old women next to me are freaking out. It was just great. But I said to Rach, Fred will love this. You know,
of course.
Yeah, it's well done, and all the characters are there. And
maybe I'll take my darling tomorrow. Isn't Tuesday cut rate day or something?
It is half price.
Freddie.
What?
You do what I do.
Oh, no, I'll do a cut rate and the seniors.
I went seniors online.
Oh, did you?
Yes. It's the greatest scam. I don't know why everyone doesn't do this scam. No, there's people at the movie theater aren't asking you for... Here's the cool thing.
They're just glad to have you in there.
Mm-hmm. Guys. May I call you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Guys. So I ordered my tickets online. I ordered senior tickets.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, I have my screenshot here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's this screenshot. Did you see this picture? I thought you'd like that.
Oh, that's funny.
We're gonna put that up on our Facebook.
Okay.
All right. So I get the screen grab. Here it is. So all it is, Fred, you can see it's a what is that called?
UPC code.
Yeah,
it's a barcode.
It's a barcode
Right.
that they just scan. Nowhere on this barcode does it say senior or regular price.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hand this to the person as you're walking, because here's the thing, at Cineplex, you don't even have to go and redeem this film.
No.
You don't. You basically just go up to the person who's taking the tickets as you go into the actual movie theaters. You just show them, and they scan it there.
Yes.
So they're not looking for how old you are. So these tickets were super cut rate. These were for 65 and above. Yo.
So what was it, $9.99?
No, these were $12.
Ooh.
I thought senior rate was $9.99.
Not on the I guess on the Friday night or whatever. I don't know. Surge pricing.
Delise is retired now, so I can go on a Tuesday.
So it's $7.
You should go. You'll love
it.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you'll love it.
There's like no doubt I'm going, and I want to see it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny.
I love Downton
Me and
Abbey.
these ladies. Honestly, it was just that was my favorite part when Carson came back. We were literally high-fiving in the aisles, me and the gals.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel's laughing at me.
Yeah, he was in Toronto last week. I saw him on one of the morning show, like CP24.
Oh, for TIFF probably.
Yeah, whatever. But it was interesting to hear him talk about that character and playing that character because it was a gem. Really was.
It really is a true ensemble cast because when they were rolling the credits, I was curious, and they rolled them in alphabetical order. Because if you think about it, the I would say much of the focus is the upstairs people, the Granthams, Lord what's his face, and his wife, and the daughters, but equally is the focus downstairs. And if you watched, you were a fan of the series, obviously. So there were there were series, I should say, or episodes where it focused entirely on Mr. Bates and all that stuff. So there really isn't like a one major star. Like they were all kind of equal. Even maybe the cookie lady or the cooking woman and her assistant didn't have as much, but for the most part, the main 10 of them were pretty equal.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in this movie too.
Mm-hmm. It was just a very pleasant series.
And Maggie Smith is great.
Yeah.
The old grandma. She's got great lines in this movie. She's just super funny and
no blood, no gore.
Nope.
A little bit of hanky-panky, but
Yeah, you'll like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it did start with hanky panky. Remember, they were dragging the body of some guy because
Yeah,
he died
man.
having sex.
You
right,
mentioned,
forgot about
we were talking about picking up Dan Duran in a, using a sports analogy in terms of picking him up on waivers. Leafs had a preseason game, I think, against Ottawa on the weekend, or no?
Buffalo.
Buffalo, okay.
There was one against Ottawa.
Yeah,
on,
right.
Friday.
They lost 2 against Ottawa and then split with Buffalo on the weekend. Preseason games.
So when does the actual season start?
October 2nd.
Amazing. Eh?
Which is what, a week from...
Yeah, like Wednesday? Or
Yeah, a week from Wednesday.
Monday the 30th, yeah.
It's a week from this Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Against Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel bad for you guys because now nothing really is going to matter for the entire regular season until they get to the playoffs and they get through at least because they got through the first round last year. They did they not? No, they didn't even get through the first round.
They haven't won a playoff series in 15 years.
Right. So nothing matters until they get through the first round and get on to the second round.
Mm-hmm. But and I've gone on record, and I've placed a couple of bets. I can see them actually missing the playoffs this year. I can. Because New Jersey's gotten better, and Islanders will be that much better, and I think Montreal's a better team than the Leafs. I think they may go ahead of the Leafs, as much as that hurts me to say. Florida's better. Boston's still good. Washington's still good. And given just the makeup of the Leafs and the coach, I could see them missing the playoffs. Isn't that something? But I really believe that.
They haven't played a game of their regular season.
No.
And you've given up on them already.
I'm not no. It's not giving up on them. I'm just looking at the landscape, and I could see that happening.
Listen, that's why I asked the question. I really don't know. I have no sense of the team, and the only thing I get out of it is you. So
look at last year. Montreal finished 4 points behind the Leafs. Just 4 points. That's 2 games, 2 wins, and Montreal missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line there. But I could see if it starts going south quickly in the fall, I think you'll see a coaching change too. I don't think they're going to waste a lot of time with that. But we'll see. And not to be, Freddie
this
Downer.
This isn't reverse psychology or anything weird that you do?
I'm just being somewhat analytical here.
No, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take 60 seconds and tell me why you think... I mean, beside the fact that the other teams you think are improving, isn't this team improving? Isn't Mike Babcock the greatest coach that ever came along?
Apparently.
Since the last time we had one of those?
Yeah, apparently. No, the Leafs, their whole defense is revamped now, and we're not quite sure. Cody Ceci and this Tyson Barrie guy, apparently they're all right, but they really only have a couple of defensemen returning from last year, and will they be better? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, and I said this last year with the Maple Leafs, the profile of player they have, Austin Matthews, Nylander, John Tavares is different. There's just not a lot of jam there. They're not the type of guys, my impression right now, that you want to go to war with. Not like St. Louis, who won the Stanley Cup, or the Boston Bruins, and those guys that just tenacious, don't give up.
Mm-hmm. Cohesive.
Yeah,
but from my recollection, I mean, a lot of that tempo in terms of the tone of the team. That's right, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Tim. Phil.
Tempo.
That's called alliteration, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that sort of set down by the coach? Isn't that created by the kind of coach you have?
Yeah, but an issue the Leafs have right now is it's no secret that the coach doesn't see eye to eye with management as far as the type of players that they're giving him to play with. The Bruins have Brad Marchand, and just that type of old-time player that refused to lose. That attitude. Yeah. The Leafs don't have a lot of those guys, so they just don't.
I don't think that's like modern hockey anymore, though. Although I'd love to believe it. It's like,
who won the Stanley Cup?
No, but look at Detroit now too, and look at major teams that were all these huge stars on them, and now it's all rookies that are
trying to do their best, but it's like the Marner, the Austin Matthews situation. It's like it's not a team that's gelling, but it's.
Well, I find it remarkable that Mike Babcock came in. Oh, Bill Brioux!
Hey!
Bill Brioux! Hey, Bill Brioux! Stan! Because not for the first time, the Leafs have brought in what was supposed to be, a great Stanley Cup winning coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'll name him if you want. Pat Burns, Mike.
No, Pat Quinn.
Okay, but I'm going back now.
Okay, Mike.
But Mike Keenan?
No, he never coached the Leafs, I believe.
Did Keenan not coach the Leafs?
No.
Let's say so. Pat Quinn, Burns. There's another guy they brought in that was a top level, had won the Stanley Cup somewhere else, and just couldn't do it here.
I can't remember how he. It's all a blur.
Well, the fact is, here's another coach that came in a few years ago. A lot of fanfare, a lot of excitement, and by your admission, has not lived up to what you would have expected.
No.
Especially given the fact that he had one of the best players at the time, the high draft pick, and what's his face?
Austin Matthews. And it goes right back to last year, Game 7 against the Bruins. Austin Matthews had less ice time than, I forget who it was in the third period, than Patrick Marleau. So it's just, there are things that you can pinpoint with Mike Babcock and go why? It's almost like the minute somebody has an opinion or some advice for the guy, he does the opposite. Because he considers himself a genius, right? So, I don't know. Hey, listen. And take nothing. I say take nothing away from the Leafs. I'm just saying through the parity in this league, and the way the other teams in the East have improved, it's going to be a battle. That's all I'm saying. And if they miss the playoffs, it wouldn't surprise me.
Wasn't that
they barely
shame?
get in last year. So,
well, it's going to be a long winter around here, Billy. The Beast.
The Beast. Have you ever been to a Brampton Beast game? No, either have I.
Dude, I drove by the Beast Arena the other day. I was over at Andy, speaking of old NHL players, I was over at Andy Bathgate's golf driving range, and it's up there in Eglinton and whatever, and it's right around the corner from the Beast Arena. Great name, by the way.
Is he still kicking?
I don't think
Andy?
so.
Because he used to be sitting out front in a chair all the time, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he's around.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Chamber Plan. They continue to make amazing connections for people, by people. And Phil, maybe you could tell us, when Fred's done this, about our friends at FYI Music News. There's something new.
Absolutely.
Haven't heard them in a while.
Canada's #1 plan for employee benefits, the Chamber Plan for small businesses. It's group insurance that is now enjoyed by 30,000 Canadian businesses. They've been around 40 years. They have health insurance, dental insurance, all sorts of insurances. Go to chamberplan.ca, get a free quote, and see exactly what they can offer your small company, and some fabulous rates. You can do this for your employees. It's simple, it's stable, it's smart. It's the Chamber Plan. Go to chamberplan.ca.
Philly, what do you know about FYI Music News?
Well, FYI Music News is a site updated weekdays written for and about Canada's music and music industry. If you want to know what's up in the music world when it comes to our country, check out FYImusicnews.ca. They have a newsletter you can subscribe to. There's a wonderful digest of key events and news of the day every single day. And currently in the headlines on FYImusicnews.ca is the return of Queen Celine Dion. She's doing her first tour since she's left Las Vegas and that decade-long residency, and so she's also singing about, I think her latest hit was about the death of her husband, René Angelil. And so the track of the day as well from FYI Music News is, here we go. It's Larissa Santiago, No Soy Tu Niñera, which is
Phil.
a nice Spanish track,
Thank you.
FYImusicnews.ca.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, it says right there.
Mm-hmm. It says it right there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Are people tired of hearing about our Prime Minister and the fact that I know we've talked about it a little bit already. I just can't seem to leave it alone mentally. I can't shake it. I find it hard to leave behind.
I think we should discuss appropriate Halloween costumes in Canada this year.
Oh, man. You want to talk. One thing, you can say what you will. There's not a lot of great. There's lots of people criticizing social media, but one thing that's great about it, boy, and you get to see people being creative. Like I just showed Fred a picture. I guess I'll put it up on our Facebook page. I'd forgotten I'd had it, but somebody had. It's called. It's Trudeau in blackface as a child. I can't even describe it, but it's a picture of Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who's his father, and I don't know what that is. But it's a little. It looks like a doll. But the things that people have done with Trudeau in blackface is quite clever.
Yes, it is.
It's no laughing.
Do you think it's appropriate? Should they be posted?
You had a great phrase this morning before the show started. You said it's not funny, but it's nothing to laugh at, but it's funny.
Nothing to laugh at, but it's funny.
It's funny. Oh yeah, it's something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, blackface is nothing to laugh at.
Mm-hmm.
When we were doing the show on Thursday, and I said I don't care when it was, because you were all like, "Oh, he apologized, and that's enough." Yeah, theoretically it is, but it just shows you how stupid the kid is, because he did it 3 times, and it wasn't in the 1960s. It was like.
Listen, our prime minister is dumber than a sack of hammers.
Yes.
Everything else aside, seriously, this guy is not very bright.
Nope.
He didn't get his daddy's brains. He just didn't. And he's propped up by a bunch of suits around him. It was his looks and his name, and they created this thing.
Yes.
And it caught the imagination of uninformed Canada, and he became prime minister. And we can only hope 4 years later that people, sort of reboot.
Yeah, I'd say.
And have another look.
But also fascinating, and I think you agreed, is just what do you do? Like even talking to Dan Duran, who is a super liberal. Like nutty. And but what do you do? How do you defend that? And as you said, they're trying to reconfigure the definition of racism, but it's still, if nothing else, shows you how dumb the guy is. I tell all my liberal friends, go and watch the interview with Hassan Minhaj, and you'll see. If you see it, it wasn't that great. Like if you want to know what our prime ministers really, really like, and we all have been in those situations where you have to either sort of, improvise and roll a little bit, and he can't roll.
And why?
Because he's dumb as a sack of hammers.
Exactly. That is just so true. And it was really, even some liberal MPs and everything, watching them sort of explain his way out of this thing, it was just sad. Because as we said off the top of the show, it's just political now. They know deep down it's wrong. They know that if it was a conservative, they'd be pouncing and jumping all over these people.
Yeah.
But it's political. They're trying to save their guy. And part of me understands that. But when it comes to race and blackface in this situation, who are you kidding? And even those people who jump on board and say, yeah, I agree, it really wasn't that bad, they know deep down it was. But it's political. They want to save his skin.
Right.
Well, and you can understand. I mean, politics is just sports.
They want to save his skin.
Well, there's an old phrase. Politics is show business for ugly people. Is that the phrase? Is that what? But that's the phrase, right? Politics is show business for ugly people. But I'll go you one further. Politics is just sports for people who can't play.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I get it. Yeah, you're right.
So that the first one's right though. It's politics is show business for ugly people.
I once interviewed Sasha.
Bill Brioux, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Bill Brioux.
I couldn't help jump in. It's
jump in, brother. This is what we're doing.
Sasha Trudeau. Remember him? Everybody's forgotten about him. He's the younger brother of our prime minister. Interviewed him once. He was making documentaries years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, "You ever going to run for politics?" Your dad, of course. And he's like, "No, that's my brother's gig." My dad warned us both. Politics is a dirty business filled with dirty people.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. But but you're right. That thing where Minhaj interviewed was fascinating, and just the fact that he held up these pictures of people and said, "Name these world leaders," and he only asked him 3, and he was sort of surprised by this. If you saw the show,
yep.
Hassan Minhaj used to be on the Daily Show, so he held up a picture of Is this my dad's friend or is it a world leader? Was the quiz. And Trudeau got, I think, 1 out of 3. And even the one he got, he said, world leader. Yeah, it is world leader. But he didn't know which leader.
But to me, that wasn't, you know what, there's a lot of world leaders. You know what I mean?
If
to me, that was less
if you're Prime Minister of Canada, Don Cherry made the point, if somebody held this up to him and said, name this coach in the NHL, he would have got all 30. If you're Prime Minister of Canada, you should know who's running Syria or
okay. But here's the thing: that was less dumb to me than the fact that he couldn't go back and forth with a television presenter, because you should. I know, we got to go. Okay, we got to take a break here. Bill's going to talk Emmys. We're going to have a nice chat with him. We hope you'll all come back and join us in a second or two. Okay, what's going on? Oh, he's put his mic down. Okay. All right. So what do we do now, Bill? We just get out of here, right?
Absolutely.
It's Humble and Fred Radio on Funny 820, humbleandfredradio.com, Twitch. Big announcement. For the first time since I've been a professional broadcaster, Edmonton Steve is hiring us. But it's really Sean he's hiring. We'll explain in the next hour. Humble and Fred Radio. Was less, because in that moment it was a surprise. I don't know. That bothered me less than the fact that he couldn't roll with the fucking guy.
And almost threatened him in a way.
By the way, I'm sure you've seen it. Have you seen Homecoming King? It's a 1 hour. It's not stand up. It's more like a one man show. This Hassan Minaj kid. You've seen it, right? Have you seen Homecoming King though? I have not. No. Billy.
No, I'm good.
It's his one man. It's his stand up special, but it's
on Netflix.
On Netflix.
I just know the name of it. Yes, I have.
But you have seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's
it's
hard,
brilliant.
What's hard is after that Chappelle one, you got to give yourself a little time. You're probably comparing ones or
No, but Hassan's it's different because it's not like stand up. It tells the story of. It's a fascinating story of his parents.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Coming from India. He was born in
California.
Went to California. His mom had to go back to India for 8 years to get her PhD.
Yeah.
Just really interesting. And then he tells the story of this girl he was in love with and how he got on the Daily Show. But it's funny, but it's also sort of smart, and it's like more like a show, like a play.
Yeah.
But he's fucking brilliant. So Rachel and I watched it this weekend. I said, I want you to see this kid.
Very good.
Really good.
I'm gonna watch that.
I was at on the Daily Show in New York, and it was just after Trudeau got elected, and I met Minaj there. We were talking. He had just been to Ottawa because everybody loved Trudeau in the States at that point. They just thought he was the anti-Trump, like he was this progressive liberal guy, and he was like basically had a crush on Trudeau at that point. He just like was raving about him. And at this point, I was already noticing Trudeau was right. I said, well, Canadians are sort of on the fence right now. They couldn't believe it. They were stunned that I would even say that back 3 years ago. Now they've all jumped off the Trudeau bandwagon. Even if you watch Trevor Noah take down on this whole blackface, brownface thing, his was very effective because he's South African.
The thing about Trudeau is the reason I didn't vote for him. I voted just as I wanted to vote. Didn't want to vote Conservative again. But I thought he was going to be good for millennials.
Right, he was young.
He was young environment. I thought, he might look after that generation. He's done nothing of the sort.
No.
And you know what millennials are like? Have they not caught on how stupid he is and how he sort of betrays them?
Well, my kids feel totally betrayed. They would never vote for him again because of the environment. Because he bought a pipeline.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, there's the pipeline.
All those things. So
you sent me something.
How
in
are
the
they all
Vice article I sent you, there's the two.
I don't think they
have the Vice article, but
they all
and
voted.
Isn't that sad?
They stood up and voted last time.
Get
elected
because there was some hope.
Yeah, right. But no. And what's worse than what he's done too is he made the whole Liberal plan was.
Yeah, can you resend it to me?
Okay. Now you got a guy who puts blackface on his legs and hands.
Yeah. And dances around.
To me, that's the weirdest thing.
Oh, it's so weird.
It is.
It's so weird.
That's what Trevor Noah said. It's not. He wasn't Aladdin. He was Aladdin in blackface. Yeah. Like.
And see the one with the banana?
Yeah. That's what he's talking about. Dancing around.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, that's just so fucking weird.
Because he's weird. And he's a fucking dumb.
But I was going to say, growing up right around here in Etobicoke, like I was born in '57, I remember being in a recital when I was like 6, piano recital. And the duet I was asked to play was the Jolly Darkies.
The Jolly Darkies,
Jolly
yes.
Darkies. And I remember asking my dad, what is that? I didn't know what he's talking about. I really can't remember his answer. I think he was embarrassed by it. So I
Trevor Noah one is 6 minutes long,
I still knew that was
you may just
as
have
a kid
to
in the 60s.
quote him.
You wouldn't dress it like,
On my street there was a black dog.
Right.
Well, you
listen.
didn't think it
It's
wasn't.
shocking. Yeah.
Listen, we we used to get those candies. We call them pending.
Right.
Like for my whole life, I call them that.
Won't lose away to get back home. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry, and I will sing a lullaby. Golden slumbers fill your eyes, smiles awake you when you rise. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry, and I will sing.
And welcome back to our program. Great to be with you on this Monday, as summer is officially over, and this last weekend was spectacular. Always great to have this gentleman with us. He has been reporting on television for the last 30 years while you've just been watching it. One of the leading voices reporting on the industry, a featured columnist and commentator, appears regularly all over the place, and we're happy to have him part of this nonsense. Recently, he joined a panel of fellow critical writers in creating the compilation Television Finales from Howdy Doody to Girls, available now from Syracuse University Press. Welcome back, Bill Brioux.
Oh, great to be back, Howard. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, young man. What does that mean? It's a book you've written?
I don't know. I wrote a chapter. They asked a bunch of. So there's so many of us who are used to write for newspapers who no longer write for newspapers.
Yeah.
So they gathered a book full of us, and each of us was asked to write a chapter or two. And I wrote about the finale of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And that's in that book, finales. People always, the Bob Newhart finale is the classic one to me. It's always the best final episode where he wakes up next to Emily and his first wife from that series and says the second series was all a dream. So it's a book like that of all those stories.
I love those. Of course, one of the most famous recent finales that people still, if you bring it up, they'll talk about it, is Seinfeld. How, Seinfeld wasn't quite as satisfying for the audience as it could have been.
No, I hated.
Most of the audience did, but you know who didn't hate it? Seinfeld.
Right, I know. Oh no, he claims it's brilliant. Larry David wrote it. I mean, it was a great idea, but not over 2 hours. Even the MASH finale, 2.5 hours. I'll never get back. I didn't like that one either. But there's a lot of great ones.
Yeah, MASH finale also disappointing because it was such a great series.
Yeah.
Trying to think of and of course, though, another big debate is how a lot of people didn't like the finale of The Sopranos. Breaking Bad.
I can't even remember that.
Yeah, well, that's the one where he comes in the diner and just goes to black.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember, and I want to, if you help me, because Breaking Bad, the movie, is coming out on Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
And I was going to watch the last season, but I can't really remember how the series ended.
Oh, it's one of the best finales ever. If you're a fan of that show, it's like a Valentine present that's all wrapped up perfectly because it just delivers. Even the music, they play Baby Blue by Badfinger, and I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's just such a perfectly neat and tidy ending. It really delivers for fans.
And I saw it. I can't remember. Just give us the gist of it. Like, he's free, right? Like,
well, so you
ruin it for if you haven't seen it. Sorry, suck it up. We're going to talk about the finale of that.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't remember.
Well, Walter, last scene is he's sort of the police are on as you can hear the sirens, and he's at the meth lab, and he dies on the floor of the lab while Baby Blue is is playing.
Oh, okay.
And the lyrics of that song is I can't remember them now, but they're so apt. It's like they were written for that moment. But he manages to sort of exonerate all the people around him, his family, his friends. He takes the bullet, the ultimate bullet, and it's just beautifully done. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Listen to this first lyric. So imagine, there's Walter White lying on the ground, and
Guess I got what I deserve.
I guess I got what
isn't that
I
amazing?
deserve.
Yeah. And it just goes on that way. Like, it's really quite good.
So he dies at the end of Breaking Bad.
He does, yeah.
Now, so how are they going to do a Breaking Bad movie? Mr. Television Critic?
Well, there are a lot of other characters, and they can do prequels. This movie that they're doing is not about Walter White.
It's about Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. You know, it's funny. One of the characters from that series that I loved was Saul.
Right.
And
Bob
I
Odenkirk.
tried to watch who we've interviewed. I've tried to watch
Same
Better Call
here.
Saul, and I gave it like
It doesn't happen.
him and the brother. I just didn't really connect with it.
I like it, but I'm not a faithful viewer like I was with Breaking Bad. But a lot of these shows, you watch them after they go off the air, don't you? You binge them, you catch up, and I think people will do that with Better Call Saul. It's a hard act to follow, Breaking Bad, you know.
You know, you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe the deal was I watched it too quickly after Breaking Bad ended. I was telling Freddie that I went and saw the Downton Abbey movie, and it was brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really fun.
Good.
I was there with my girlfriend, and I was telling me I was sitting next to some older women, like in their 70s, and we were like high-fiving. And oh yeah, it was great.
Netflix and shows that have been around for a while and are still current. Netflix. What do you know about this show, Peaky Blinders, that I keep hearing about?
Yeah,
it's
I do
British,
too.
I wish I knew more about it. It's been around a few seasons.
but
And
they're making new ones still.
Yes, they are. And I remember seeing it when it first came out, and I don't have much to say about it now. I don't
Okay,
remember.
well, that's going to be a fall project for me because the people that have recommended it are people that usually, certain people recommend something, you think, oh, okay.
Well, I can
I'll
tell
like
you
it.
one one that you would like as well. So, are you a Mindhunter fan?
No. Well, I shouldn't say no. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the
But
first season?
No, but if you recommend it, I will probably like it.
There's 2 seasons of a show. Did you like it?
No, and it's just, I feel so embarrassed because I write about television, and half the stuff at the Emmys I haven't seen. I haven't seen Succession
Well,
yet.
that's fine.
I
Well,
haven't
how
seen,
can you
You
nowadays?
can't see it all.
No,
Yeah.
it's impossible.
So Mindhunter, I didn't think I was going to like, but I know you will like it because of the historical. You both like it. It's got a real historical. It's the early days of the behavioral science department of the FBI, which became the profilers, which became, they coined the phrase serial killers. But what I like about Mindhunter, and again, we all around the same age. You hear a lot about those stories of, David Horowitz. What's his face?
The Son
of
of
Sam.
Sam.
Like they're solving real cases.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that series ended, and somebody recommended to me this series on Amazon Prime called Carnival Row, with who's the good-looking guy? He's in
Justin Trudeau?
No, yes, it's Justin Trudeau dressed up in Asian face. Right. It's a Jude Law? No, but it's one of those guys like Jude Law.
Oh, there's a lot of good-looking guys.
But anyway,
I know who you mean. Yeah.
you know who I mean? It's
Yeah.
that guy. He's super good looking. Oh, Orlando Bloom.
Orlando
Yes.
Bloom. Yeah.
Anyway, it's a limited. I didn't think
started.
I was going to like it.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of got a fantasy element to it, but it's like really it's a cop show, and you will love it.
Another one too, and obviously they don't make it anymore. And and I've tried a couple of times The Wire, and I gotta, because just so many people call it the best series ever in the history of television. And I've tried. I'm having a little trouble getting over the 4:3 format in the early stages or early episodes.
But you almost have to pick, because it's 5 seasons from 5 different perspectives.
Yeah.
There's the teachers and the cops and the politicians. So what is it you're most interested in those 3? And just start with that season. Don't worry about starting at the first one.
Oh, you don't have
So
to?
you don't have
No.
to.
You can
Excellent.
just jump in, take in the education one if you're a teacher or whatever.
Television has changed. Listen, radio's changed. Media has changed so much since the 3 of us all started back in the 1900 and whatevers. And the nature of, it's interesting how this conversation is going to intersect what you do and what we used to do, because if this was even, I won't say 25 years ago, I'm trying to think when my last regular radio job was, 2011. So in 2011, when I still worked on regular radio, I would have been all over the Emmys. I would have, in fact, made a special point of watching it so that I could at least have some comfort in the conversation. And it wasn't until this morning when Freddie and I were talking about your appearance and he said something about the Emmys, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Right.
I guess.
Was that this weekend?
Was that this weekend? Because I'm not alone.
Yeah.
The numbers would show it.
Oh, no, you're right.
And I want to start with that. Like
young people, like my son, is like, Dad, all award shows are over.
Yes.
It's irrelevant. We don't care, kind of thing. And you're right. With the Oscars would be the highlight of the year. You'd sit and watch with your parents, kind of thing. But what's interesting is that watching last night, CTV had the broadcast here, and they did what they should do: is they rammed promotion for this whole week. All their new imports are launching. Bob Hart's Abishola and all these Stumptown. So they kept cramming those ads in, and then all night long the awards went to Amazon, went to Hulu, went to Netflix, went to none of the networks, ABC, NBC. They won zilch, not even like the reality category anymore. So you're watching the show now, and it's like CTV is showing irrelevant programming that we've got next week that no one will be talking about at next year's Emmy Awards.
And why? I wonder why they continue to. So that was a what 3-hour promotion for the competition basically.
Well,
the Emmys.
Kind of, yeah.
Was it 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever?
Bell owns HBO, so they get to brag about all but they don't own Fleabag. So there's a lot of stuff going now to different places, and that cross promotion strength of that award show is losing its punch for Canadian networks.
Do you have some perspective? And I don't want to put you on the spot. Just give me round figures. So 10 years ago, an Emmy broadcast would have had, would we say, 10 to 15 million viewers? And what kind of perspective are we looking at now 10 years later?
Maybe there was 10 or... there probably still is over 10 million, maybe 15. I don't know. It's hostless. That's usually harder to promote. Everybody's sort of over Game of Thrones, so that's the big show. A lot of people still haven't seen Fleabag. That was the other big winner last night. So I don't know. It wouldn't have been a...
Where do I see Fleabag? Is that available?
Fleabag is on Amazon Prime.
And it's good? I have Amazon Prime.
Fleabag is fantastic.
Okay, well, there you go.
What's it about?
It's about this woman in Britain who is promiscuous and out of control. She suffered a terrible loss, we learn. But it's just so... This Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who created it and stars in it, is just such a phenomenal talent. She's a great writer. She won the Writing Emmy last night. She's just hard to describe. And her take to the camera, not since Oliver Hardy have I seen anybody look at a camera like this. And the second season is about this priest that is welcomed by this very dysfunctional family and her flirtation with this man of the cloth. The actor who plays it, fantastic, and I can't recommend it enough.
Okay.
It's magnificent.
That's I'm going to put that in because I have what you just said there at the start was very interesting. There's CTV promoting all their new fall lineup on television, and all the awards went to
all the
streaming services.
Yeah. So it's completely changed. Not only the numbers, she might have had 30 million win the Emmys 15 years ago, say. And HBO would have been still the dominant player with The Sopranos and all these other things back then. So this erosion's been going on for 20 years. It didn't just happen.
Yeah, sure.
Networks have slid right off the map.
So you made the point, you name a host, and sometimes that's part of the attraction. What was the point of no host?
I think that
with the Emmys this year,
the Oscars did it, and it was the ratings went up a smidge. I think that the show was becoming too much about Oprah, you win a car,
Right,
the hosts that sort of do stunts with the audience, and it was wasting time. I think people just want to see awards handed out, which is what the show was on time last year, like this year. Last night it ended right on time, and it seemed pretty brisk. And they didn't have a band playing people off. They used like a DJ playing great music. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty brisk, good show.
Couple of things. A couple of the winners: Tony Shalhoub for the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which another thing I've recommended you watch. Fred Man, it's on Amazon Prime, and for so many reasons, the guy that plays Lenny Bruce in it is exceptional, and he's a Hamilton guy.
Yeah,
he's my favorite. He might be one of my favorite characters that just doesn't get he doesn't get a lot of story time, but whenever he's on, he choose the scenery so good.
Yeah.
but she's very good.
Yeah.
The show premise is very good.
Yeah.
But I also like I like things that put you in a place and time. It's of a time in New York in the 50s.
Yeah.
Women are starting to become more, whatever that is, that they more prevalent in. They're leaving the home, and it's just and it's funny. You'll love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's another series that I've been telling you would enjoy.
No, my buddy Darren loved it on your recommendation.
I also watched Barry. I only watched the first. I dug it. It says I like the premise. He's a hitman that's hiding out in an acting class. A great premise.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
Same here. I watched a couple and I didn't rush back, and then you sort of forget about it, right?
And he's good. What's his face is good in that, but
Yeah, Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, but
it's one of those shows you don't know. Is it a comedy? Is it a drama?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, and it's both. It's pretty clever. You got Fonzie in there.
Fonzie's in there.
He's the acting coach. He's pretty funny. The guy I was written for last night for that award that Mrs. Maisels member won was Alan Arkin for the Kaminsky Method.
Yeah.
That with Michael Douglas. I think he's fantastic.
Although again, I watched that series. I just couldn't get into it. Did you
Same
try
here.
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did, and it's
But I
coming
love
back.
Alan Arkin. Alan Arkin, whenever he's on the scene, I love him so much.
He's fantastic.
My favorite Alan Arkin movie is the In-Laws.
In-Laws is very funny.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is. But right back to Russians Are Coming.
Yeah.
I talked to him about that movie at the press conference last year, and he went on and on how much he loves Norman Jewison, who directed that. And Arkin has a cottage in Nova Scotia, and has for the last 25 years. That's where he summers. He's an interesting guy.
That's right. I'm going to go to Cabot Links. I'm going to play some golf.
What is it that sort of attracts you or brings you back to a series? Like, as you said, same thing with Barry. A couple, and then it just didn't do it for me. Yet, how much I enjoyed Big Little Lies. And again, I don't hear a ton of people talk about that, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, that cast was huge, and it just caught my imagination. Have you watched that at all?
No. Should I be watching that now? I gotta watch Fleabag today.
No, I know. Well, you know what? It's the binging season coming upon us. So.
Fred, did you like the second season as much as the first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I just enjoyed it.
I think I watched Russian Doll, but I can't remember.
Well, this is it. It's a blur.
There's a blur.
There's a great series with Christina Applegate.
I didn't like it.
To Me. You
didn't like it.
We talked about
I
this.
watched it 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I watched them all.
Yeah, I like
that.
that
I just
one.
couldn't do it, man.
But it's a blur. I'd have to go back
I
and
liked
rewatch it to remember what it was about almost now.
You know, if we can talk about how the socialization of television is so much different now than it was when we were kids. And what I'm trying to say is this: it used to be if you sat down to watch something, you'd stick it out.
Right.
But I've noticed with myself, I am so much faster to bail on something.
Right.
Well, because you can go on to something else.
Yeah, because the choice, that's phrase spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
We've never had as much choice. And not because when it comes to network television, I haven't turned a network television show on in years. But, other than golf. But, I started to watch, again, I think I watched Russian Doll. Do you remember what it's about? It's like she's a spy or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
but you're right. No, back in the day, you would watch all 30 episodes of Dallas.
You'd stick it out.
You would watch the Street Legal. You would watch all 20, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And now you're right. After 4, it's like, and if you're not binging them all in one night, you're not watching them all. That's the other thing I've noticed. Like if you're so glued. Glow is a show I really like now. The Gorgeous Lady of the Rescue. Wrestling. I can't get up. Everyone ends with a cliffhanger, and it's like, oh, I gotta keep going. And Netflix designs it now so they don't cut the credits off. They just keep flowing.
Man.
So you can't get up. So you watch all of it because that's all you've done for 8 hours. But
I know sometimes it's just disturbing, isn't it?
It is.
It's like, how did that time go by so fast?
Right.
Skipped. Like, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's series I've watched 13 episodes in a weekend last winter, and I can't even tell you what they were now.
Right.
Honestly.
No, you're
I
right.
saw
Me
Russian
too.
Doll. I have no idea what it's about.
It's Russian.
Some Russians.
No,
in a doll.
I mean I forget the names of them.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what they were. But I would on a Saturday morning, and then by Sunday afternoon be through the whole series. But did I hear Ozark's coming back too for another?
I believe
show?
so. I mean, just won a
loved it.
Directing
I
Emmy
liked
and
Ozark.
acting Emmy last night.
Yeah, and I do kind of remember how that ended. They got the casino up.
Yeah.
And they decided to stay. Bill Brioux here. Were there any surprises? Catherine O'Hara was nominated.
That's only a surprise if you live in Toronto and read
that
all
she
the
didn't get it.
Yeah, I think the competition in all the categories was fierce. You know, there were some great actors in Best Actor, Actress, Supporting. It was a crapshoot. So you did have some surprises in a way. You know, you had a category where there was like 7 people from Game of Thrones and one other woman, and it was the other woman who won the Emmy. You know, like there was a lot of people sneaking through the cracks in those instances where there was more than one in the other.
So Schitt's Creek was shut out.
It was, but look at the comedy category. You had Veep, which is a tremendous show. Mrs. Maisel, Fleabag won just about everything. So it was almost impossible for Schitt's Creek.
But you look at, I was reading on the weekend that what's Eugene's son's name?
Dan Lee.
Dan Lee. He just signed a deal with CBS now.
3-year big deal with ABC.
And I'm sure it came through Schitt's Creek, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dan was a guy, though. He was a guy out and about in show business. He's a pretty well. He did some directing as well, I do believe.
Yeah, he guested on Modern Family for an episode this season. So he's
By the way, it's funny. I just saw on a billboard that Modern Family's series finale or season.
Final season, yeah.
There's a show that I did watch back in the day.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a few years, but one of the funniest network shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, I agree. The first
really
5 years
funny.
are hilarious.
My favorite character is the husband. What's his name? He's so good.
From Married with Children?
No.
The other guy. Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah, it's very, very funny.
Phil's the best.
Yes, he's such an idiot.
And what's the lead woman there?
She's also juicy.
And the highest paid female actress on television, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't working anymore. My stream's down. Why is that?
There was an episode of Modern Family where they went to Vegas that was perhaps the funniest 22 minutes I've seen in ages and ages.
Well, the two guys, the one character, the gay couple, family, the bigger guy who is actually not gay, who is
the actor.
He also might be one of the funniest people on TV.
Very funny. He dresses up as a clown and all that stuff.
The clown thing and.
Not blackface, though. No, it's not good.
You know, it's interesting.
Whiteface,
Trudeau should have dressed up as a clown.
Well,
that would have fit.
Why can't he go as a mime?
Right.
He's only offending really, really white people.
Yeah.
Our prime minister.
Here's
how you know it's bad. Trump was surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Right.
Trump, there's a clip of Trump this morning. I was listening to him and goes, I'm very surprised. Yeah, even Trump's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
No. I don't get it, man.
This is a curveball.
Yeah, like, what?
No, I actually thought Trump's response was pretty good because maybe he could have gone over-indexed on our, that's bad and I'm a nice guy, but he didn't. He just sort of.
It's because Trump knows there's a picture somewhere of him at a party. Come on, you know it.
Sitting on the golden toilet.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Somewhere there's a picture of somebody in blackface peeing on him. So, well, let's review. We've learned about Fleabag. I think we're all excited to maybe check that out. I did something last night. I had been telling Rachel about. I know what I watched last night. Between the Two Ferns, the movie.
I saw half of that. I kind of bailed.
I would just say, here's what I would do. If there was a way I could, like, recommend a strain of weed and a show.
Right. Exactly.
Let me just put it this way. What you want to do is get some kind of any kush will do.
Right.
But I got a little bit weeded up and watched that movie last night. It's pretty funny.
Well,
did you watch it, Sean? Yeah. It's got some great moments in it, and he's so good. My favorite, though, is if you watch it to the end. Did you watch the credits? The credits are the funniest part of the movie.
Okay, I bailed, so I'll have to get some enhancement.
Is that the best endorsement of a movie?
No. It's because his character, you don't realize he's doing a bit.
Yeah.
He's so good at it, but the reason the credits are so good is you finally get to see him break character with the guests.
Nice.
He's got like 10 of the biggest celebrities in the world: Matthew McConaughey, Keanu Reeves, and they're all playing it very straight. Letterman. But then, so when you see the movie, you see him asking these ridiculous questions. He calls Letterman skinny or Santa Claus with AIDS or something like that. But then when what's he called? Yeah, Meth Grandpa Santa Claus or something. But what you see in the credits is when you see Zach, like what he's really like, and it's like he's cracking himself up and he's cracking Letterman up. It's really good. It's something else. So there's so much TV, Bill. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, it is overwhelming. The stuff with McConaughey on the movie was very funny.
Very
getting
good.
With the water and everything. It's definitely check it out. There's a lot of great movies on Netflix now, not just series.
And the thing is about Netflix, aren't they being attacked or some companies withdrawing content?
Yeah. Warner Brothers has pulled the Friends,
Right.
the Big Bang Theory. Everything they own is going to go to Hulu's or the new HBO Max service. Same with Disney. They've yanked all their movies off of Netflix because they've got Disney Plus coming in a month. The streaming wars are going to be insane.
But Netflix strength is their own stuff, really, at the end of the day,
this
right?
point, you're right.
Yeah. So they don't need it.
I think what we're going to see in the next 10 years is all those other services ramping up, and they already have. I mean, Amazon, Hulu, they're producing their own series. Apple. Great to have you here, man. Anytime you can make it. It's our pleasure to have you in this studio.
It's the first Monday of every month.
Always my pleasure.
We try, yes. That's the idea, yeah.
Look at you setting up regular features. Dan Duran, Bill Brioux. All right, kids. Bill, how do people get a hold of you?
Please take a look at Brioux.com, BRIOUX.com, and that's where I write about TV every day.
You're a very nice man, and you seem to know what you're doing.
Really a pleasure to be here.
All right, kids, we'll take a break. It's Humble and Fred on Funny 820 all around Southern Ontario. That's how we do it. In the meantime, you can come and visit us at our little website and go back to archived episodes, thousands of them, humbleandfredradio.com. We'll be right back to talk about some other stuff. The reason I was going to say I did is after I watched the movie, I went upstairs and I thought, I've been telling Rachel, she had never seen Sherlock Holmes. Have you ever seen it? With Benjamin Cumberbatch? Oh, yeah. It's fucking brilliant. It is, yeah. Like, there's another 7 seasons. What?
Benefit Lumberjacks?
Yeah, that was...
Benefit Lumberjacks.
Yeah, because in Between Two Ferns, he has all these people on, and just the shit he says to them is fucking brilliant.
The guy who plays Moriarty in that first series with Cumberbatch, of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
He's the hot priest in the second
season
of Fleabag, and he's fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, so I said to Rachel, I said, you've never seen Sherlock Holmes? I said, it's so fucking well done. I went back and watched the first episode again last night. Like, now I'm fucking fucked, because I want to watch the whole thing again, you know? It's like...
one of the best shows ever.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Again, another one you would love, because it's just so smart.
And the season is 3 episodes.
Yeah. So it's kind of easy.
3 hour-long episodes, but they're really...
it's like watching a movie. Anyway, yeah, but the one I think you should... What's the one... I don't know, there's so many things I want you to watch first. Mrs. Maisel's another one you should really watch. Fleabag, eh? Fuck.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
Must watch one show.
I'd love to have you come in next time and we can talk maybe more about series finales, because I think that's an interesting...
Happy to.
Talk about Carson and how some of them ended, but this was great.
Oh, thanks. My pleasure. This is always fun for me.
Okay, well, it's always fun for us, too.
And this week you've got these new shows starting, Stumptown. There's lots to talk about. All month long.
Well, listen, man, we'd like you to come in whenever you want, too, so if you feel like you have something else to promote, let us know.
All right, thanks a lot. That's really awesome.
Okay, buddy. Phil, can I have a decaf? Decaf, Phil.
Thanks, Billy. See you, pal.
See you, Brandon.
Right on,
What's
bud.
Peaky Blinders all about?
I don't know, but Doug and
Laverne love it. Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna start it tonight.
I think I'm gonna try this Fleabag one.
Yeah, I'm gonna too.
But yeah, the Between the Two Ferns, that fucking... It's only an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And Will, by the way, I don't know if you know this about me. Will Ferrell is one of my fucking favorite people on screen. He's
won me over. I wasn't.
I
big
love
on
him. Yeah. He's so willing
he's
to be.
always been one of my favorites, but
he's
I don't know.
so willing to be dumb.
Have
you ever seen him in any episodes of Eastbound and Down?
Yeah.
When he plays the car dealer?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Yeah, Will Ferrell's good.
That was back in the original Funny Your Day Dies too, because it was like Bat Fight with what's the that guy that can sing really well. He's always in all those movies too. Comedian. Spear.
You know.
Bat Fight. Look it up on YouTube. It's
okay.
hilarious.
Yeah, Sopranos would have been the first thing I really binged because I didn't start watching it, and I didn't get there was new episodes being made, but I was watching the beginning. Same with remember Boardwalk Empire, which
I used to love it, but again, there's other. I watched the first couple of seasons.
No, I watched,
and I never went back for it.
But I like him.
No, me too.
Yeah, well, take Dalton down, Abby. You guys will fuck it. It's delightful. It's
Yeah, I
just,
think we'll go tomorrow.
it's just easy to watch, and it's fun, and some interesting little twists with the family, and Maggie Smith is great in it. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, you're right. It's like you can just sit there for hours and hours and hours. There's way more things on TV than there's time to fucking watch. There's just too many things. What did I say I want to talk about? I want to talk about this procedure. I want to talk about okay, so I need you to Gig Sky, please, sir.
Is he not coming into... I wonder... I wonder if Amanda Brett booked Brett.
Yeah, I thought it was the 24th, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not today.
So where... Gig Sky. I don't see a Gig Sky in here.
I gave it to you already.
Oh, where?
So we've got the best
down
late
here?
night jokes about
Oh,
Justin
thank you.
Trudeau's blackface scandal. Wow.
Say that again?
So is there some audio here? Who do you want me to play? I got Seth Meyers.
The Seth Meyers one's only 40 seconds, so you can probably play that one.
Okay, good. And I got Seth Meyers. I got
The
Trevor
Noah
Noah.
one's 6.5 minutes though, so you may.
I don't want to do
it's
6.
quarter.
We're imminently
Talk.
back.
Hold on a second. You know this song? One of the more obscure TV bands. Yeah, this daddy's going to New York City in a couple weeks, going to see his kid. Heading to Brooklyn a week from Thursday for the weekend. Going to spend some time with my lady friend. Apparently we're going to go look at some museums and such, you know.
Maybe I should come with you.
You should. We'd love to,
The
love
three
to
of
have
us.
you.
The three of us. We have
Well, no,
a
it'll
great
be
time.
good. I'll stay. We can stay in the hotel right around the corner from Charlie's house. You
And I'll
stay at
stay at
Charlie's.
Charlie's.
Yeah, perfect. Believe me.
Are you staying in a hotel this
Yeah.
time? Oh.
It's would be like from here to you know where Sushi to Go is down the street.
Yeah.
That's how close it is to
Maybe
Charlie's
300
place.
meters?
But Charlie would love to have you stay in her place.
I'm sure she would.
She'll go. That's funny.
Find her dog in my nostril.
Oh, the Chihuahua. Hey, everyone. Gig Sky takes you, whether you're going to New York City or Ireland or wherever you've been.
The Gig Sky World Plan for eSIMs on the iPhone, all the newest iPhones. Fantastic. Gig Sky offering a world plan for all your latest iPhones. The World Plan allows customers to travel from North America to Latin America, any other region, and use the same data plan. Oh, yeah. You don't have to purchase a data plan for each region or country. The World Plan will have it covered. Okay, for Humble and Fred listeners, you can use the HF500 discount code when purchasing your data plan to get a $5 discount on the data plan with a value of $20 or more. And coming soon for the Google Pixel eSIM customers, they'll have the Gig Sky app available, yes, in the near future. Keep an eye out for that.
Did you see this thing there? Rudra sent us. Skytrack and Gig Sky announced landmark partnership providing global cellular data coverage to enable the connected aircraft. Gig Sky keeps making the world a more connected place, Phyllis.
And much more reasonable, too. That's the thing.
Oh, my goodness.
There is Wi-Fi on planes, but it's not Gig Sky on planes yet.
Oh, Phil.
That's the thing.
Speaking of technology, CDN Technologies, our newest Spartner? Sponsor and partner.
Sparring partner?
Become a Spartner. Our friend Barb Paluskowicz was in last week talking about all kind of things that CDN can protect your network, can enhance your network. There's a great article at cdntechnologies.com, the top 10 ways hackers get around your firewall and antivirus. Whether it's backup and recovery, IT security, IT services, IT support. CDN Technologies is where you go, is your one-stop shop for all your technology needs. In fact, there's also a podcast that Phyllis produces that is Chock-a-Block with information about the world of the world.
Yep, security and IT. The thing is, it affects all of us in the end. It really does.
It does, Phil.
Yes.
If you ever swipe a credit card, that's your data.
Yes.
If you ever buy something, that's your data.
You can imagine in America, the talk show hosts went crazy. I was thinking about that. I guess the story broke on what, Thursday?
Thursday night or Thursday?
No,
Wednesday
Thursday
night.
we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the first day they talked
so
about it.
Can you imagine you go to work on a talk show on Thursday morning and you're looking, they've got clipping services from all over the world, and you see a story about the prime minister of a country. What a gold mine. Who's got pictures of him dressed up in blackface. They must have just said, clear.
Three times.
All the comedy writers have been, clear the schedule. They must not know what to do with themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And this defense by the liberal side that, yeah, but what about? It really doesn't hold a lot of water right now. Yeah, but what about what about Harper? What about when he did this? Believe me, nothing they did equaled this.
No.
There's that Andrew Scheer thing where he used the dog analogy for gay marriage or something. But they'll have you believe he compared gays to dogs. He didn't. He used a ridiculous analogy to explain something. Inexcusable. It was dumb. But not this bad. Sorry.
Conan O'Brien on a show made light of the likewise racist scandal going on at Saturday Night Live. The story of the guy that was hired but then fired because he made some comments on a podcast. And Conan says, as a result, Trudeau has been dropped from the cast of Saturday Night Live. Just funny.
Yeah. Deep down, I think Justin would rather do that for a living, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Seth Meyers said it's really bad. He said he wasn't going to show the audience the pictures. He said it's really bad. It's so bad that Canadians traveling in Europe are going to start telling people they're American.
Did he?
That's great. That's a great joke. You know what I mean? Like if you're a comedy writer, you come in Thursday morning, you're like, I don't know what we're going to do tonight. And then you see this.
Gold mine.
And you're like, wait a
minute.
minute.
And the great thing is, generally or usually the Canadian Prime Minister would need some explaining before you set up the joke. You know what I mean? Because they're so obscure. Justin Trudeau is a worldwide superstar.
Oh, yeah.
So they could jump right on this.
Do you want to hear a little bit of what Trevor Noah, who is not my favorite
No, me neither.
host, but...
It's so funny in a way.
Oh, in a way. Aren't we all,
Trevor
Phil? You're
Noah.
funny in a way.
Yeah.
You're funnier than Trevor Noah.
Problems with this photo. First of all, it's obviously never okay to do blackface. And secondly, if you are going to darken your skin, at least get the color right, okay? Yeah, Trudeau isn't dressed as Aladdin. He's dressed as Aladdin doing blackface. That's not the color of Aladdin. What are you doing? And also, Trudeau didn't even need the brown face to make the costume work. He's in a full Aladdin outfit at an Arabian Nights themed party. No one was going to see him and be like, white skin. Are you the snowman from Frozen?
It's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So Time Magazine published this photo of Canada's Prime Minister in brownface. And in response, Trudeau hopped on his magic carpet and flew straight to a press conference to apologize.
In 2001, when I was a teacher out in Vancouver.
Oh, shut up. I can't. I can't listen to him anymore. Now I have no respect for him. I think he's dumb. Sorry.
I don't know. When Bill was here off air or on air, I made the point how he's let down millennials because all the promises made, for that generation.
Very true.
Even his delivery when he talks, that sort of a sermon-y type. I wish he'd get over that. Just talk to the people. Don't put on that voice like it's a guy trying to sound smarter than he is. That's what it is. He's a phony.
Well, I think, deep down, anybody that puts themselves out there to run for office, and, however, we may never know, but however these shenanigans, decided all these circumstances that this kid was going to become our prime minister, whatever that was, the Obama, we need a young Obama-like guy. I think Trudeau really, like a lot of politicians, whether you agree with him or not, deep down wants to do well for others.
Of course.
You can't take that away from him. And that sincerely he would like a better world for our country. I believe that about him. But that phony thing that he does is because he's trying to sound like something he's not.
Yeah. And, people get into it with the best of intentions, and then they're caught up in the system. And the system is so hard to change. You use the word corrupt, but, it's a different world once you're in it.
I'd say this is what Canada needed, though, in the sense that we've only ever looked at the two parties, and this is going to open the eyes to the rest of the left wing that's out there, the NDP, the Green Party. There's lots of different parties out there in Canada. I think this really changes that perspective.
Yeah, but the only thing is, even the latest polling through this, the NDP is 20 points back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Grandma's MP.
It just seems
it's actually Grandma's MP.
Unfortunate, though, that there's only the two choices. Why there's many different parties in Canada.
Oh yes.
This was a couple days before the third picture of our Prime Minister dancing around in blackface. It looks so bad. But so a few days before this came out, he was in a press conference. The Canadian Prime Minister told journalists he was wary of saying there would be no more photos. He said, I'm wary of being definitive about this because the recent pictures that came out I had not remembered. So he didn't want to say there. Because really, I've done some things I'm not proud of, but I can tell you definitively there are no pictures of me in blackface. Okay? There just aren't. I know that for sure.
Sure.
When a leader is chosen, or maybe even before, the powers that be within the party, you sit in a room and they go, okay, is there anything in your past that we need to be prepared for? And no, he's not. Don't tell me he didn't remember that stuff. He was hoping.
Here's what he said.
Yeah,
he said he went on to say he didn't talk about the incidents, even keeping it from his staff.
Sure.
Because he was embarrassed.
Well, that's a huge betrayal. Because they need to be prepared for this. Even if they know it and they don't come out with it, if it's ever uncovered, they need to be able to spring into action.
Yeah.
And he caught them all off guard.
Yeah, well, and again, as I said at the beginning of Bill Brioux' interview, I said, they say that politics is celebrity for ugly people, and I say it's also like sports for people who can't play sports. Believe me, this thing came out. It was a great shot from some team. That just didn't happen. The reason it didn't come out on Labor Day is whoever had it was saving it.
Yeah, yeah.
As soon as they announced the election.
Oh, yeah. That was also a political motive, too, to their benefit. Yeah.
I went out, I think it was on CP24, and it may have been on News Talk 1010, too. They went out and polled black people about what they thought. And I was surprised because the majority of them said they didn't care.
Sure.
But part of me is thinking, how political even is that? Like, if I'm a black person, I'm a liberal, and I like Justin Trudeau, where is that line where I say, oh, I don't really care, I forgive, because I like him and I want the Liberals to win? And those very same people, their response would have been different again if it had been a conservative.
Right. Are minorities more liberal than others? We never know.
Yeah.
Demographics, right?
Yeah.
Man, what a great... I mean, you can speculate all you want, but if you're a liberal, you've got to imagine what this would be. What different flavor this scandal would have if it were a conservative or just a conservative, man. Like, even if you're a liberal conservative, like we are, fiscally conservative, liberal when it comes to human beings. I mean, that sort of describes us.
But you talk the weirdness of it. What picture is it where his legs are black too? The Aladdin?
Yeah, the dancing around. No.
That's the last video
dancing
that came
around.
out. Yeah.
Like, that one's
like,
so
what
weird.
When he was a
Part of
teenager.
so I'm doing my black face, and then what makes me think I'll do my legs too? It's like, wow.
And you think in that same era, this was the kid who appeared on CBC defending federalism just before the referendum when all of the kids around him in this debating team wanted to slap him, basically. Like, he tried his best.
Okay,
but
thank you for that.
There's the dark
Thank you for
side.
that brief interlude into we don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying the content of a human being is more than just the black face you're seeing, right?
No, it's not.
Well, see, there you are.
Okay, whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
The other problem is people on Facebook are starting to complain about how people who aren't necessarily directly offended by this are making their opinions, while others who should be offended by it aren't making it at all. They feel like they're being suppressed by it. That's the other thing.
Well, the Prime Minister certainly has taken us down a crazy road, hasn't he? I mean, he really has. From making fun of it to getting your knickers in a knot over it to defending him, it's fascinating.
But isn't it delightful?
Oh, it is.
I find it just so delightful. Every time I think about it, it makes me smile and warms me in my heart. It just does. I just think it's the greatest. I mean, I barely could give two craps about this election until this happened. Now I'm just delighted by it.
Although one explanation I heard, there's people going, "Oh, what's the big deal with blackface?" And again, you really can't appreciate it. Or I guess you can, unless you're... But one explanation, I think it was Desmond Cole on News Talk 1010 said, the thing about that is that you dress... It's not a costume I can take off. Like costumes you can take off and put on. You know what I mean? He said, so your costume is my reality.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that sort of struck me. It's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It really
I get it from that perspective.
Well, it's got so many... perspectives. That's a great one. Like if you're a person of color, brown or black, it's even if it was 20 years ago, it still shows.
No, I get it.
I don't listen. We're all different than we were in our 20s and our 30s. We've all evolved. You sort of everybody does. But I knew in 2001 that putting blackface on your skin wasn't an acceptable form of costuming. We're not much older than he is. 2001 wasn't that long ago, or 2002, whenever it was. And as you say, there's the video of him dancing around in the cut-off jeans and the banana shirt. Like, what kind of, like...
And that excuse that, I was caught up in white privilege. I couldn't appreciate what those people went because of my white privilege. It doesn't apply to you. Look who your dad was. Look at the environment apparently you grew up in.
You were supposed to be multicultural.
So your dad didn't, you never had those discussions?
Exactly.
Justin?
Yeah. The Prime Minister didn't sit down with his son, Justin, and say, Justin, just in case someday you would like to possibly put on some blackface, don't do that.
Was his dad still alive?
His dad's Uncle Vince.
What year did he die?
2000 or 2001, something like that, yeah.
So his dad may have still been alive when he did that.
That videotape, yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, Lou Glassman didn't have to sit me down and say, oh, by the way, don't put on any minstrel costuming. What, black or white?
There are other costumes.
Michael Jackson.
There are other costumes, That's why they created Party Time.
Very true. Party Time. Party City.
Let's talk a little bit about, thanks, Me Chinese, for this suggestion. This is Trudeau's entrance music now.
98.1.
When he rallies. Hey, everyone, the Prime Minister will be here any second.
Hey.
And he should just encourage people to put on black or white, We're all in this together. In the meantime, let's talk about our good friend, the Retirement Sherpa, who brings us all more aware socially and fiscally.
He made a great point last week. He said a lot of people are in group RRSP plans at work. And, those ones, I mean, they're okay, but, there's usually a lot of room for improvement. You need a guy like the Sherp to look yours over and tell you exactly what could be better. Like, often you're ignored through those ones. There's really no one to speak to. There could be poor investment choices within that you had nothing to do with. It's cookie-cutter investing, and you know what? You want to move beyond that. RetirementSherpa.ca. His name is Tim Niblett. He is the guy to talk to. Even if you're an existing group plan, you might want another opinion, and no opinion is better than his. RetirementSherpa.ca.
And whether you're black or white, go green. Strain Print is your companion app that will help you learn how much more rewarding and beneficial your experience with cannabis can be. There's currently thousands of strains available in different shades of green, of course, and everyone processes cannabis differently, so you can easily track and journal your progress, as well as compare notes with other users and earn strain points. Check it out free on Apple or Google Play or strainprint.ca.
Speaking of Michael Jackson, here's a great segue, if we may. As we finish out the live show There'll be more today at humbleandfredradio.com. I mean, unless you have to go pick up some tires. I'm talking about a commitment to a program. Hey, do you mind if I leave early today so I can go to Costco and get some tires? I'm like, yeah, do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, and I get screwed over. I didn't get out of there till noon. I came back here, had some best Portuguese chicken. It
Isn't
was
it
good.
nice?
Yeah, it was. They put a lot of the sauce on it. It was good. It was really sloppy.
That's why they call it best Portuguese
Puree,
chicken.
yeah. Puree. Mm-hmm.
I won't be having any of that for a while. I had my procedure on Saturday, and it's called an endoscopy. Endoscopy. And it's sort of similar to having a colonoscopy, except they take a camera and they go down your throat into your stomach and they look around. And, every once in a while there's a slight advantage. I don't know if advantage is the right word. It's nice when somebody recognizes you or I as being part of the show and how they can't wait to tell you what place in their lives we occupied, and it's very sweet. So I'm laying there in the operating room at this clinic on Saturday, and the anesthesiologist comes in, which, by the way, when I found out that I wasn't just going to be slightly sedated, that I was going to be put out completely, you have no idea how happy I was. Because it's like, because I was a little nervous, because I'm like, how am I going to be awake while they stick this tube in my stomach? Well, I wasn't. So the anesthesiologist, Dr. Moore, comes in, he's asking me some questions, and he looks at my name, and he looks at me, he's like, Howard Glassman? Are you Howard from the Humble and Fred Show? And I'm like, yeah. Can I have some more drugs? Anyway, he said, oh, we're going to give you the VIP treatment. I'm like, groovy. I don't even know what that means. So they give you what Michael Jackson overdosed on, which is propofol. And I can tell you, if you've ever been anesthetized, like by a doctor, and not like by some shatter, it was only 15 minutes, this procedure, but I told you guys earlier, I woke up like, it felt like I'd slept for 8 hours. And that moment when he puts it in the, they open up your arm or the stream, they have like they had
an IV.
They already had an IV in my arm.
Oh.
And then they open up the line and put the drug in that puts you to sleep. He said it's going to take about 30 seconds. All I heard was 30, and I was like, gone. and I was so good. Like that sleep I had, I woke up and, other than a little sore throat later because of the camera, I guess, like I felt great. And I said to the doctor after, I said, can we just do this every week?
Now that's how problems start, Howard.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, I can see it, man. And I said to Rach, I get it why. Michael Jackson had insomnia, and he was just being administered this drug in huge amounts to help him sleep. Anyway, the bottom line is I have a couple little things wrong with me. I feel way better. You can tell. I mean, my energy's back, and, I just feel better. I have what's called a hiatal hernia. God, I feel like such an old guy talking about my stuff. But I have a hiatal hernia, which is basically my stomach pushing up against my esophagus. Some of the symptoms are very similar to a gallbladder attack or even a heart attack. So that was why I was feeling so crappy. And I have something called gastro erosions.
Oh,
gastric erosions.
Right.
Not a gastropub. I have a gastropub. Anyway, do you want to take this call? Hi, who's this?
Hey, it's Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne.
Hey, congratulations. I hope I'm glad you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to die yet.
But speaking of cameras going into orifices, I want to ask Freddie if when he had his procedure with the turf, if once he had everything removed, did he end up farting out of his pee hole?
Fred, Wayne wants to know.
Great call.
No, I know. Wayne took his time there, but we got... What he's asking you, Fred, is did you start farting out of your pee hole?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did,
That is
Wayne.
amazing.
Yeah, that's a side effect.
Yeah.
So I had a stock, I forget what it's called, stock fee or something done, and no one told me this was going to happen. And once I went into the washroom at the hospital, I was, urinating, and a gigantic fart loose out of my wiener.
Great call, Wayne.
Okay, thanks, Wayne.
Thanks for
See you,
calling.
but at least he's laughing.
Great call, Wayne. Appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
Oh, cheer. Hoses down the throat.
If you join us for our... Listen, today for sure you got to join us for our podcast extra, because I'll play a classic Humble and Fred song about just that farting from your pee hole or what? Yeah, you'll hear it. You'll hear it.
I was driving through the Scottish countryside, and I played that song for my friends Doug and Laverne. Poop from a pee hole.
Yeah,
that
we're gonna play
anyway.
it. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
They loved it.
Yeah, we gotta wrap
so
things
how
up in
are
30 seconds.
So
Yes,
the
go
thing is, you're okay.
Yes,
you're going to be fine, and you're going to bounce back.
I feel great,
and you're going to look, and your stomach will be repaired.
Not necessarily.
Oh no,
I'm gonna have to watch it for a while. If you're asking me to I got to stop. A lot of the foods that I've been eating that are fatty and are not good for my stomach, but fine. I got the main thing is I was really overdosing on anti-inflammatory medication. We'll continue this conversation.
All right.
Thanks to Bill Brioux. Thanks to everybody. HumbleandFredRadio.com for some more nonsense, and we'll see you live at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
This episode of Humble and Fred Radio is brought to you by FYI Music News, The Retirement Sherpa, Geeks Guy, The Chambers Plan, Strainprint, Freedom Construction, Ringside MD, Clear Air Solutions, and our newest sponsor, CDN Technologies. We broadcast to the world from the Humble and Fred Queensway National Broadcast Center. More Humble and Fred tomorrow, and online at humbleandfredradio.com.
I wanted love, I needed love, most of all.
Yeah, my buddy, and thanks to Craig. Thanks to Craig. I think it's Craig Campbell checked in and asked me how it was. Here's the thing. I didn't realize, I told you guys, and anything I'd seen online about this procedure, this endoscopy, said that what they do is they give you a Valium to sort of sedate you, and then they put you on your side, and they put a clamp in your, they have a mouthpiece so that you can't bite your tongue during their procedure, and that you are, for everything I read, said you were conscious during it, but you don't really remember it because you're so sedated. And I was like, okay, but then, I was a little bit, I got a couple little butterflies thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to be laying there, and it's going to be weird. Maybe it won't hurt, but it'll be odd. And as I told you guys earlier, when I found out at the clinic that they were going to put me out completely, I was like, bring this on. Let's do this. And I never felt weird the rest of the day. I had a bit of a sore throat, and you've been through some stuff. Just knowing, after the week I went through all the heart stuff and the ultrasound in my abdomen, I had an echocardiogram, which is also different. So Saturday, when I said to the first doctor, Dr. Moore, a Humble and Fred fan, when Dr. Ray came in, not a Humble and Fred fan, loves I don't know who he likes, but he likes us now. One of the things I was hoping was that he would tell me after what he saw, and he said, "Oh yeah, we'll come back in," which is great, as opposed to waiting till today to find out from my doctor. So as soon as he sort of did a little diagram for me, and he showed me what it was, and said he's putting me on this medication for a couple months, but it's not a big deal. And so just knowing that made me feel better. But I was already that old thing about when you take your car to the mechanic. By Saturday morning, I felt great. The only thing that I have left is in between meals, I need to eat a little bit more frequently because I start to feel like your abdomen gets this weird. I get this weird feeling not that I'm hungry, but that my stomach is empty, right? And when it's completely empty, it starts to bother me a bit.
And we've learned over the years the benefits of eating less more often.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a real weight loss trigger. Yeah.
I made us breakfast yesterday morning, and halfway through, and I'm not just saying this because I was conscious of it, but halfway through I said to Rach, I think I'm going to save this for a couple hours because I could feel myself being full, but it only takes a couple hours now for me to feel that empty, weird feeling in my stomach, and so it always feels better when I either drink more water or eat food more often. So anyway, in the end of it could have been a lot worse. It could have been gallstones. It could have been some stomach stuff, and whatever it is certainly more manageable than a peptic ulcer or something, or some surgery. Anyway, so that's that.
When I had the TERP, my anesthesia was a needle in the back.
Epidural.
Yeah. That put me in. And it was the same thing. He said, I don't have to put you completely. And I said, can you? And he goes, Okay.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah.
Considering what's about to happen to me.
Pee from a poop hole. Poop from a pee hole.
This is unusual.
Pee from a poop hole. Poop from a pee hole. Pee from a poop hole.
Poop up, peep up.
This is unusual.
You think this is a
Did the wires
karaoke
get
song?
crossed?
Yeah, this is definitely.
It's brown up front, and it's yellow in the back. Poop from a pee hole.
Poop from a pee hole.
Pee from a poop hole.
Yeah.
Poop from a pee hole. And this is quite unusual. Pee from a poop hole.
And me, Chiny, could be a dead gerbil. Fuck you. Or is that for me or Fred? I
That was
can't.
from Fred.
What's it say?
I don't know.
Well, they want to know too. Are you still eating the 7-Eleven chicken?
No.
Oh,
No.
maybe that's what you're missing.
Yeah, 7-Eleven chicken is not okay.
No?
No.
He said that?
No, I just got to stop eating that stuff. You know, I eat a lot of... In the last 8 days, I've ate pretty cleanly. I've just eaten some, lean proteins and more salads and all that stuff. And no surprise, I'm feeling better. I've been eating a lot more fruit. I just got two things. I started eating lazily, and I started increasing the amount of anti-inflammatory drugs I was taking. So that's no good for your stomach. Shawnee,
Yes.
let's tell everyone that Sean's got he's got a gig now. He's got a new gig.
Well,
Thursday and Sunday, Uncle Steven has hired Sean.
That's right.
To coordinate. What is the scope of this project?
I think he's working with. I don't actually know yet. I'm meeting everybody today. We're having
Okay,
a
so
conference call,
don't
but-
just if you don't get in trouble, but it's
Nope.
like a thing where you're going to operate a Facebook Live.
Yep. Just kind of got hired by your brother to help him out with broadcasting these people they're all over the place. It's not just in one city. So
So
it's a
Steve won't be
conference call.
on site for that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so
I was looking forward to saying hello.
No, I haven't seen Steven in years. Honestly, I haven't. It's been a few years.
So yeah, I don't know if he's coming in or not, but we're going to talk about this today, and then it's just going to be I need to come
Coming in where?
broadcast
Here?
for them. Yeah,
He lives in Edmonton.
Yeah, no, but he was talking about I don't know what it was, the studio, who was actually on the call. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
but
the
he's
whole
not
plan
coming
was.
here. You're going to be here on your own.
I'm going to be here on my own. But
So it's this Thursday afternoon is the test, and then Sunday's the actual broadcast.
Yes, correct.
And I won't. Like Sunday, I'll be around here. What time is the gig on Sunday afternoon?
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, so
Yep.
I'll be here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm here so that Stan isn't barking during this thing.
I don't even know if that's probably not even an issue. I'm just going to be sitting here with my headphones on, and I'm not actually.
There would be an
speaking,
input.
so-
No.
Oh, okay. So there's no broadcasting from here.
From here,
You're
it's
just
just I
operating.
control.
Oh, okay. Anyway, good for him.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more opportunities all the time. It's kind of cool.
And
lots of Twitch work too.
Me Chinese says that your broadcast on Fridays. Sean had his own show on Twitch.
I did. Started it out.
Is
it actually went pretty well, I think.
And how long was it? An hour?
I went an hour and a half or so.
Is
something
it on
like that.
iTunes?
No, I just did it on Twitch for a start.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just gonna slowly launch on there.
And how many
then,
songs did you play?
I was kind of doing 2 per break, so 8 total.
Good boy.
Yep.
And how
Just had
long did
fun
you
with
do
that.
talking for?
I was trying to stick with Canadian songs too because Twitch doesn't like when we,
But how many
broadcast all the-
how long were your breaks? Like when you talked, did you like 5-minute breaks or 7-minute breaks?
I was doing 10, 15-minute segments, and then it was 2 songs and right back to it.
Well, that might not be a bad spin then, because there's a wealth of Canadian music, good, solid Canadian music.
Well, and that's it. I'm trying to
on
use
Twitch,
that rock
everyone's,
I listen
everyone's saying Sean did a wonderful job, says
Well, thank you guys.
VE3PDK.
Yeah, he donated a bunch of bits for us. He's like one of our top listeners. on
Brian
Twitch.
from the Wick wants to know what's the link for Sean's channel.
What's the link for Sean's channel? I'm just on the Twitch Humble and Fred channel.
Okay,
so
so
that's where you
it's
can find
he's
me,
got
guys.
he's going to be underneath our umbrella, which we're doing for a reason, which is to increase the amount of activity on our channel.
Yeah.
Isn't that why we're doing
the
it
more
too?
stuff we have on that channel, the more viewers we get, the more followers, the more everything. We're just trying to build this up. So anybody share it on your social media too. Have fun with it. Let's if you want to start a Twitch channel, let me know. I've put this all in our Facebook posts and everything we do every day.
All right.
give me a message. Send me a message if you're interested in doing Twitch.
How many views are we getting on Facebook with this show
We
that
get
we're
a
doing?
lot on Facebook because
Like
it's there for 24 hours.
But will we get 1,000 views of this thing?
We've been getting more. We've been getting 3,000, 4,000, 5,000.
What? 1,200 by 9 o'clock.
Of this shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This crap.
This crap.
People love it.
This nonsense we pump out.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I love you, Phil Hahn. I love everything about you.
But don't say that.
I was downloading Vortex
Should we?
GIFs today.
Now, would it be offensive if we did the show in blackface? Is that offensive? No. Our Prime Minister has done it. It seems to be. I'm going to do the show on Tuesday in Jew face.
I just saw a meme.
You like that, did you? I was dressed in Jew face.
That Paul Rudd joke on Between Two Ferns. I'm not a practicing Jew. I've perfected it.
Perfected it. It's a great line. I know.
It's great.
Yeah.
That's not even a costume for you.
I know.
Jew face, because you are Jew. Now, if I did that, then that would be, I just saw a meme here. It's a black lab looking into the camera. And somebody put, "Look what Trudeau did to his dog, his yellow lab last Halloween."
He did what? He's doing?
Look what Trudeau did to his yellow lab last Halloween. And it's a black lab looking into the.
Oh, that's funny. Should I?
They're just keep on coming.
Here, Phil. I'm going to send you this picture, and you put it up on our Facebook page. Okay.
If someone could animate Trudeau
I'm going to send that to you.
singing Al Jolson's "Mammy," that would actually be helpful.
You're Phil, right?
Yeah.
So if I send this to you, you can put this up on our Facebook page?
Absolument.
Okay. Because I need to do something else here.
Any special comment? Should we do our own little bit?
Just say, I don't know what you say. Just say, whatever. I've sent it to you. It's it's just basically Trudeau in black. It's got a comment sort of that you can sort of see. It says Trudeau in blackface as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a crazy time we're living in, man. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it that blackface would still be a thing in 2019?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, are you all done for today? What are you going to do today? What do you want to do today?
I don't know.
Should we go play 9 holes together at one of your places?
One of my clubs.
Where are your clubs? At home?
At home.
All right, we can go play golf. I want to go play golf today. I got nothing else to do.
I don't know if I can do it today. But we can do a day this week if we plan it.
Well, I can't now because it's
Why?
the only day I have free. Because I'm already golfing Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to take Rudra somewhere.
What day?
Thursday.
What time?
Well, after the show.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Although I could change maybe. But anyway, we'll see.
All right.
Let's discuss it.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. First week of fall. Phil's all excited because he's already planning to go get Pearl, the Pearl Reclamation Project.
And I'm also waiting a call from my mother because apparently over in BC she saw a fox yesterday.
Oh my goodness!
You're going out on walks all the time in the forest.
And
Port Moody.
And she's going to call you with what, an update?
With her cell phone and then tell me, Philip, I've seen a tree. It's like some stupid thing about discovering that province. So there you go. She's lived in Alberta. She lived in Nova Scotia.
Philip, I've seen a tree.
Yeah, I've seen a tree.
I thought we had those in Ontario.
So he's waiting for a call.
A very old tree.
That's what he's got going. I'm waiting for a call from my mother who has seen a tree. Excellent work. We'll see you all tomorrow.
There's a destination a little up the road from the habitations of the towns we know. A place we saw the lights turn low, the jigsaw jazz and the get